a little bit about myself. I am 25 and transgender. From a very young age, I had always had these dreams, or I guess to a certain extent, even daylight fantasies of one day waking up and being female, being who I was on the inside. I first started having these thoughts, I was 7. As a 7-year-old, it's very confusing. As you're brought up to be society's normal, whatever your gender is. And, well, as a 7-year-old boy, feeling like you should have been a girl, or that you'll wake up one day and you will be a girl, that would be awfully confusing. And as I grew up, I still had these thoughts, and as I learned more about everything in general, those thoughts got more complex and more detailed. And when I met my, at that stage, future wife, I explained to her that I had a cross-dressing fetish. So I thought at the time. And she said, no, that's cool. We can work with that. It's not an all-the-time thing, is it? And I told her no. And so we tried it once. It, I can't say, was very rewarding because she was a lot bigger than I was, so the only access to clothing that we had was hers, and it wouldn't exactly fit correctly. But we had a ball, and we ended up getting married. I proposed to her on Christmas Eve, and it was all good and happy. And I thought, as the relationship grew, so would our time with being able to suss out what was wrong with me. We were engaged for 9 months, I think it was, and it turned from, yeah, sure, we can play, to a more, no, not tonight, and it just kept being put off and put off and put off. And start off with, I thought it was because she was feeling threatened or scared or something that she might lose me. So, as naive as I was, I thought, well, as soon as we get married, all of those problems will be gone. Like, she will have no reason to feel threatened or anything, so it should be fine. Boy, was I wrong. When we got married, it went from a maybe next week, maybe next month, to a no, not at all. And I was utterly devastated. And she sort of forced me to repress any urges I had, which, as anyone in the mental health field can say, isn't healthy for you. So then that brings us up to a sexual deviance ball that we went to with a couple of friends, and they thought, oh, wouldn't it be funny, you can be a cheerleader. So naturally I jumped at the chance. I thought, yep, cool, this is at least one night where I can be myself. So we went, and that night, as I got ready, something just clicked in my brain, and I realized it wasn't sexual urges or sexual gratification of why I wanted to dress like that. It was I felt more comfortable in myself being dressed. Naturally, I told the wife, and she still freaked out about it. And as our marriage continued, we're getting into probably the last year of our marriage. We were married for 3 years in total. We started having problems, and we decided on an open relationship. Now, I won't go into too much detail on the open relationship, but in the long run, what happened was I was allowed to explore this female side of me, and she was able to basically go off and sleep with other people. Needless to say, we broke up pretty quickly after that, and that leads me to me being about 24, and at that time it was just right, I know I want to be female. Where do I begin? It has now taken me a whole year to finally get the courage to stand on my own 2 feet and say, I'm transgender, you can either get over it or not.